یاریږم د باړې اوسېدونکې یم زه یاریږم طالبانو بیا دماکه کړې وه کورونه به یې ډېر ویشتل د هلیکاپټر نه به یې بمبارینګ کولې چې چېرته به ډز واورېدو خوب هم د شپې نه راتلو موږ له هسې پته نه وه چې دماکې څه شي بمباریانې به یې کولې بیا هلیکاپټرې به راتلې ډګ 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 به یې کولو
This camp has a long history. This is not a new camp. It's been around for probably a good 30 years, if not more. And originally the Afghans used to live here. Now I've been working in refugee camps for about 15 years. Most of them Afghan refugee camps, some of them flood and earthquake related. And one thing I've found common in all of these, the most seriously affected victims of armed conflict, displacement, or any kind of natural disaster are children. And the most ignored and overlooked are also children.
هلته زموږ ښه ښایسته کور و او سکول ته به هم تلو سهار به چې سکول ته لاړو یا به غرمې رالو سکول کې به هم لوبې کولې کرکټې والیبالې او نور به هم څه لوبې کولې بیا به چې د سکول نه رالو بیا به هم روټۍ وخوړله یو एकदम هلته هم لوبې کولې او دماکه وشوله موږ ویل چې څه شي موږ له هسې پته نه وه چې دماکې څه شي چې بیا پته ولګېده ډېر کسان پکې مړه شول
سهار وختي به راپاڅېدو لمونځ به وکړو بیا به چای به وڅښې سکول به راغلو قرآن تلاوت به سکول کې وکړو حالات ورو ورو خرابېده پهله یو دماکه وشوه بیا څلور وشوې او کسان پکې لکه موږ مشران مړه شوي ډېر کسان پکې مړه شوي پنځو زرو نه کم درسره نه ځم او بیا موږ پیدل دې کیمپ ته راوښتو دې خوا چې کیمپ نه رالو موږ ته څه خوراک بندوبست هم نه و څه زه هم راته نه وم موږ ته به ټینټ څنګه وي څنګه به ټینټ رالو اندراج مو ډېر په سختۍ سره وشو که نه او کسان ډېر زیات شوي وو زموږ نه مخکې راغلي وو دې خوا کسان او موږ چې دې خوا رالو ته به شاپرو کې به مو بازار نه اوبه راوړه شاپرو کې به روټۍ راوړه موږ ته بازار هم نه و معلوم زه په خپله درې پیره دې غلط شوی وم
د هغې نه بس بیا راووتو دغه کور نه بس کور هم پرېښود سامان ټول هر شی به هم پرېښود او مالونه هم پرېښول بیا د هغې نه راووتو بس دلته بیا کیمپ ته رالو او ګرمي هم ده بس یخني کې هم نه ټینګېدی شو په ګرمي کې هم نه شو ټینګېدی بس ماشومان هم دلته څه و بس خپلوانو که راولګو هلته تیرا ده بس او څه دلته و او بس سکول ته ځو راځو بس ټایم هم تېرېږي
د شپې چربانګ 2 بجې راووتو او دلته رالو دلته راته کیمپ کې راته ټینټونه ولګو سکولونه چالو شو سکول کې داخل شولو او ګټې خشاک هم راکه نشته وس هم نه کېږي چې واخلو او ملمرۍ د لاسه دلته دې کیمپ کې ناست وو. څوک خو د خانۍ د لاسه نه کښېني خو ملمرۍ د لاسه ناست.
Now, living in a refugee camp is not easy. It's a difficult life. For children, certainly it's difficult. From the outside, things look quite organized. From the outside, it looks like everybody gets their meals and their facilities all on time and everything is done for free. But once you go inside their homes, once you actually see how they live from day to day, night to night, the picture is very, very different.
When I saw the kids, you know, there certainly was the ragamuffin component. Not much physically that they had. Not as bright. I don't mean intelligence, but not as active involvement in the outside environment.
When I arrived at the camp, I met with a lot of people. Most of them were children. And then I started to have conversations with them, and suddenly everything changed. Because the moment we started talking, especially about how they got here and why they got here, and suddenly the whole body language changed. Everything became tense. The wringing of hands, the sudden eye movement of looking away, the head movement of looking away, an occasional drop of sweat, even a tear. And these were all obvious signs of a person living in trauma.
ये बच्चे जो हालात देख कर आए हैं, जिस तरीके से यहाँ पहुँचे हैं, ये इन्होंने गोलियों की बौछार और सरों पे घूमते हुए हेलीकॉप्टर शेलिंग करते हुए और बारूद, तो ये लोग बहुत डरे और सहमे हुए थे.
د هلیکاپټر نه به بمبارینګ کولې چې چېرته به ډز واوره د خوب هم د شپې نه راتلو او ماشومان به یو هم نه وده کې او ټول ماشومان به ژړل به د شپې چې ډزې به او چې بیا واده کې چېرته ډزې هم نه یارېده.
چې دماکه وشوه مونږ ماشومان ویله څه وشو کله به کټو کې ننوتو پټ به شو او کټونو لاندې ووتو سوړو لاندې به ننوتو او مونږ له به شپې خوب نه راتلو. شپې به ډېرې ډزې کېدلې او بمباري وه ډرون حملې وې.
توت یخته بمبار وسې ټول خلک لاندې ناست هغه ټول مړه شولو. بره په ګولۍ راواچوه 7 تنه مړه شولو. پرستي وباسم جګړې مه کوئ، جګړې ښه شی نه دی، هسې خپل ایمان په مه غلط کوئ.
Now imagine being a child and having to witness this. It's no wonder that they're not able to sleep. No wonder that they have to suffer through nightmares.
These children are losing their childhood to politics they don't understand. They're displaced from their homes.
These issues are not visible. They're not like a head injury. They're not like a foot injury. They're not like a broken leg or a broken back. So they don't really get any attention. The injuries don't get any attention. So the trauma just kind of stays inside the child.
دا الفکاتر د غټ الفکاتر پاسین چې ګرځي افغانستان او کوز د سپروان کوز زموږ په کورونو په سر پر
هغې داسې ګولۍ واچوله کور کې داسې تور دم جوړ شو او وزیا ورسئ پټي پټي بوت لکه بیا مونږ رامنډې کړي نو بیا دې څه وایي
چې بیا مونږ راووتو دلته پرې بمباران شروع شو ټول.
میس مونږ به داسې یارېدلو که نه چې ډزې به وي نو دغه به دونه تیز تیز اوازونه چې مونږ به یا دونه ګولو مړه کولې او یا نه چې مونږ دغه نه به مونږ ډېر یېرېدلو دې ډز او دې دغو نه.
جل جازونه رال او هلیکاپټر بمبار یې وکړو. ځینې خلکو درې له منډې وهل، ځینې خلکو ونې یخته پټېده، څوک کوټو ته کې پټېده. بیا بمبارونه یې وکړل، بیا ځینې خلک پکې مړه شو، ځینې خلک بیا راووتو او ځینې په کور کې پاتې شو.
په غوږونه کاڼه شوم د ډېر خفګان نه چې څوک راته تیز اواز نه کوي زه ښه واورم نه. بل دویم دا چې څوک راته خبره په صحیح طریقه کوي خو زما سوچ نه وي ورسېدلی چې کله زه هغه سوچ نه پوهېږه شم زه ورته وایم ته ماته څه ویلي دي.
بیا دلته بېرته لاړو بیا جنګ شروع شو بس بیا خپل نیکه هم رانه پاتې شو هغه پوجیانو ویشتو او
trauma is destructive, and the opposite of destruction is creation. And so in offering children who have been traumatized an opportunity to play, you're offering them an opportunity to create something out of the darkness of the destructive experience. Children are sacred beings, and they each have a birthright to experience delight and joy, health and well-being, to be safe and secure, to unfold to their fullest promise by being nourished in body, mind, and spirit, to be loved, and to live in peace. In far too many instances, children are not given these things. Formal education is critical in children's lives, but so is play and games and imagination.
If you provide children with an avenue, with an opportunity to express themselves in a creative fashion and play in some friendly competitive sport, a lot of healing takes place.
The genesis of the game actually began with creativity. I'd ask my friend Inayat or Rahman when he was going to the Jalisay camp to bring paper and colored pencils and just to ask the children to draw something about what they were experiencing. When he showed me the drawings, I was amazed. These were not just fantasies of planes dropping bombs. These were things that actually happened. I felt a real drama within the drawings, and they didn't look like American kids' drawings. The experience had been amazing in how involved the children were. And he said, you know, what they need is play.
Play is extremely useful in engaging a child who has withdrawn because it's less threatening to them.
Play is very important. It's really important in how you experience yourself, how you have fun, how you work with other people, how you figure out how to do things. And when I say games, I'm also thinking about artistic things and imagination. And being able to express something about who you are, what you're thinking about, putting the inside onto the outside. It's one of the only times that people have complete freedom.
It's a pretty big camp. So with 150,000 people, it's got about 80,000 children. That's a lot of children. And obviously we could not arrange for 80,000 children to have uniforms and games, this, that, and the other. So what we thought was that we would start a tradition. We would do something and we would facilitate it, and then we would find a way in which other people could come forward and participate. Other people could help. And in many ways, people themselves could replicate this, because it doesn't take very much. And we chose students intentionally. We chose students who were weak.
जो बच्चे स्पेशली जिनको आइडेंटिफाई किया, जो स्टिल एक ट्रॉमाटाइज्ड सिचुएशन में हैं, तो अगर उनको थोड़ा बहुत भी हम लोग ले आते हैं बाकी बच्चों की तरह, कि उनको हंसना आए, बोलना आए, खेलना आए.
The people that had been selected, you know, they weren't the most likely to succeed types. They were, if anything, the people on the outside, chosen because they needed help.
We gave the kids training, guidance in terms of how to play, how to create, how to draw, how to paint. Never told them what to paint, just how. And then whatever is inside them would come out. And then we did kind of some sort of training in terms of how to play. Second, we gave them the tools that they needed. and the materials that they need. Let's say for drawing and painting, you need a lot of paper, you need pencils, you need color pencils, erasers, sharpeners, paint, brushes, and a few other things. If you're going to play games, well, you need, before anything else, a ground to play on.
The field for the games, which we had leveled, was a huge, rocky, hard, tough field.
Then you need equipment. So you need footballs, and you need cricket bats, and you need wickets, you need cricket balls, volleyballs, nets, this, that, and the other. Now, a really important component of this whole process is training and coaching. And we were fortunate enough to have people who were not only willing to volunteer for this kind of work, but also they were willing to put in the time and the patience to see it through in the best possible way. We also felt that if the kids had sports kits or uniforms of some sort, that would actually give them a sense of pride.
I saw immediately how they ran to their friends and look at me, and a kind of envy, and just the way they were suddenly socially raised within the kid community. There was a real tangible sense of not just happiness and joy, but I would say pride.
One of the things that we did was that all the children got squares of cloth, 2 feet by 2 feet, not all, many of them, and they were required to paint something on that piece of cloth. And then all those pieces are collected together and sewn together into a quilt, and then it looks like a mural. It's pretty large. A couple of other interesting things that we wanted to do, one was music and the other was dance. And music really just percussion, beating on a bunch of buckets, beating on a bunch of trash cans, drums, etc., just to create some sort of rhythm and get people kind of, going to have some fun with their bodies.
Hopefully when they leave the camp, they'll take some memories with them. That's a really important point. Planting some seeds of memory of something that they did, which was not the day-to-day drudgery.
تاسو چې موږ سره څومره ورو ورو مینه کوله امره تاسو له موږ درجه ختېدو تاسو موږ سره ډېره زیاته مینه محبت وکړو ستاسو ډېره شکریه ادا کوو چې دومره موقع موږ له تاسو راکړه
میس موږ ډېر خوشحاله شو تاسو موږ ته دا هر څه راکړه موږ خپلو ملګرو سره ډېرې زیاتې لوبې وکړلې تاسو سره موږ لوبې وکړلې ګیم هم وکړلو کرکټ هم وکړلو نو موږ ډېر زیات خوشحاله شو ستاسو په دغه
دې خلکو ډېره شکریه ده چې موږ له چشمې راکړلې ګیم یې راباندې وکړو کیپونه یې راکړلو ګړۍ یې راکړلې جوس یې راته راوړو موږ د ډېره ډېره ادا کوو چې دوی موږ له د کیل دپاره بیل ټایم راکړو دوی موږ ډېره شکریه ادا کوو
انشاءالله زه به تعلیم حاصل کړم تعلیم حاصل پروفیسر به جوړ شم د هغې نه بعد به د ملک خدمت کوم کوم ځای کې تعلیم نه هلته به تعلیم ورکړو
دلته موږ ډېر خوشحالېږو دلته موږ کرکټ کوو دا ماحول ډېر ښایسته دی او مخکې موږ ته د بالونه بیټونه نه میلاوېدل او اوس راته ښه بیټونه هر څه میلاوېږي
ته ډېر پکار دي چې موږ دا ته دغه راکوي او موږ دغه ګیم کوو او چې لږ خوشحالېږو موږ ډېر ښه به
زما چې بوټان واغوستل وردي مې واغوسته پړګې مې په سر کړه ماته ډېر خلک یې زه ډېر شکریه ادا کوم. زه پینټینګ زما واونې خلک یې زما ځکه په پینټینګ کې څه واسطه چې زما خوښ دی ډېر.
کله سکول ته مونږ دلته راتلو نو بیا تاسو راغلی که نه نو مونږ هم کرکټ شو والیبال شو فوټبال دا هم راته بیا راوړو نو دا اوس هم بس هغه زوړه چې کم هلته غم و که نه هم اوس د زړه نه وځي اوس بس ښه په خوشحالۍ ډرینګونه چې جوړول پینټینګ هغې هم ډېر خوند راکړ.
چې مونږ ګیمونه 3 میاشتې نه وکړو که نه مونږ ورته صحت هم ښه شو او زمونږ ذهنونه هغه زړې خبرې ووتلې. اوس مونږ ته بیا هم هغه پروګرام جوړ کړی چې بیا هم دلته ګیم کوو که نه او دلته کې مونږ ښه ګیم کوو کرکټ هم کوو والیبال هم کوو بیډمنټن هم کوو نورې وغیره وغیره نورې لوبې هم ورسره کوو. زمونږ ذهن ښکلا شوی دی او زړې خبرې زمونږ ذهن نه.
As soon as there's a smile, as soon as there is a giggle, and there can be in even the most traumatized child that moment of delight because it's waiting inside to come out, just peeking out.
अब हर एक बच्चा बढ़ चढ़ के बोलना चाहता है, जब पूछा जाए तो कुछ ना कुछ बताना चाहता है, वो खुद ही बहुत एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं, बहुत पॉजिटिव चेंजेस नज़र आ रही हैं.
We're not here to do a technically clinical exercise. We are simply here to provide the children with an avenue, with a way in which they can look inside, bring out what's inside, explore themselves, face their fears, and then learn how to deal with those fears in a very positive and constructive way, and slowly let the trauma kind of slip away from them and become as normal as is possible.
We're not talking about a cure. We're talking about mobilizing a natural healing process that we assume and that we know is present in the child. Play will begin that process.
I think it's premature to say what effect it will have, although I could certainly see some immediate effects about both joy and, you know, what I'll call self-esteem.
نن د شاه جهان سره سیالي کړمه راته جامې د سرو لبو را بخشش کړه سمینت په د کلال دا کانډولې کړمه بیلتانا به پر هره پزیګر ناست یمه که د مصر بادشاهي یاده دې لیکمه